Most horror films rely on the protagonist having the overall intelligence of your average politician, but not so with today's heretical recommendation. Ladies and gentlemen, Event Horizon. This movie is rather simple in concept and execution, being a haunted house in space. However, instead of the house having a ghost or demon in it that haunts and thus hunts the protagonist, the event horizon itself is possessed by a horror from beyond this cosmos. The characters' motivations all make sense. They're a search and rescue team sent to go find out what happened to the crew of the Event Horizon. The captain doesn't want Dr. Weir, the guy who designed the Event Horizon, on his ship, and really didn't want to come on this mission at all, but he is a professional and thus attempts to execute his mission to the best of his ability. And unlike many characters in horror films, when he starts seeing red flags, he tries to leave and get out. However, the ship has other plans. His crew starts dropping like flies, their longest abiding loves and fears used against them as the ship doesn't want them to leave. The Event Horizon is as much a character as any of the cast, and the sheer horror of what has occurred dawns pretty quickly for the crew of the Lewis and Clark. I'm not showing any of the big reveals because I like having a channel and there is a lot of gore in this movie. And believe it or not, this version of the film, ladies and gentlemen, is the sanitized version because the director originally had a much longer crew log sequence, but the execs over at Paramount took one look at it and said, hell no. And just watching what little we get, I can totally see why. I recommend Event Horizon because it is a horror film that is actually scary and doesn't just rely on the stupidity of the main characters and bad jump scares. But I would suggest that if you have a weak stomach, maybe give it a pass. But this has been Pete, the Heretical Nerd, signing off.